What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the PS5 career mode. This is episode number 35. And we start today's episode off with a brief look at the fixtures coming for the end of April. We've got Wolves at home, biggest game of the season so far, Spurs away, and sandwiched in between that, the FA Cup semi-final against Bristol City. And on the back of the defeat to Arsenal, one win in our last 4 games, we have now dropped to 10th place in the table, 4 points off Wolves, 5 games to go, and now Eddie Nketiah is going to miss the biggest league game of, well, perhaps the series, thinking about it here, the first one of 3 today against Wolves. So we know 5 games to go, we've got some really tough fixtures to come to end the season off. If we don't win this game, we've got barely any chance of making the Europa League. So heading into the game, despite there being no Nketiah, just 1 win in our last 4 games, I still felt as though if we were in attack mode right from the first whistle, we'd give ourselves a chance to get the goals to win the game, and 5 minutes in, capitalising on Eddie's injury. He's had a tough career since he came in on a free transfer last season, but I still believe he's got potential to succeed as a backup striker, if not a first choice. Brian Brobby heads in a Jamal Lewis cross, and 5 minutes into the biggest game of the season, we take the lead against Nuno's Wolves. However, 25 minutes in, they would find their leveller through Naby Keita, the former Liverpool and RB Leipzig midfielder, firing Nuno's side back on level terms. And there's a reason why they've been in 7th place all season long, and a reason why I wasn't surprised to see them find their leveller so soon after we got our opening goal. They are the best team outside the top 6. No one's good enough to break up the big 6 right now, but Wolves, you would say, are the next best team outside of the best 6 in the division. But this was a cracking game though, you know, both teams going for the win in this game. A draw would do Wolves fine, but they were looking for the dagger and a huge victory to knock us out of the race for a European place. And of course, we needed to win to realistically have any chance of catching up with 4 games to go. 5 minutes after the restart, and we're back in front, and it's Ilias Sher, the Moroccan player of the season back in season 1. Last season, I'll be honest here, I won't sugarcoat it, he was really disappointing, but this year he's found his feet, got a new contract extension in the summer. Maybe that's why he didn't play very well last year, you know, his future was uncertain, but this year, way better, in recent weeks in particular, has been very good indeed. 17 minutes to go though, and it was all hands on deck at this point here. Wolves pushing and pressing for a late goal to get back on level terms. We still led by 1. João Moutinho, the veteran, I thought he was going to score against us there, smacking the post, as we still currently led and had the slender 1-goal lead. And with 2 minutes to go, desperately clinging on for the 3 points. Oh, heartbreaking West London, and the boy does it again for Nuno's side. The former Liverpool and Leipzig midfielder with yet another goal. It's 2 goals in the game for Naby Keita, and Wolves battle back once more to drag us back and find their second equaliser of the game. You see what it means as well, and again, I've got to be honest here, I know I've said it so many times before, and I sound like a broken record. You see on the replay there, great composure from Keita, under pressure, massive moment, slotting the ball through the legs of Freddie Woodman. But those celebrations on next-gen console, I mean, I can't understate how really cool they look, especially for the realism and the immersion as well. This is a massive, massive game. So much at stake for both teams in the race for a European place. That win could have totally changed things for us, how we held on to it and helped us gain momentum for the Final Four. And instead, Keita rescues Wolves right at the end. That's his 3rd goal in 2 games against us as well, and a massive one there. So as we do climb to 9th, the gap remains at 4 with 4 games to go. Due to the goal difference record as well, we've got the weakest one out of the 4 teams that realistically have a chance of finishing in 7th. So yeah, I'm not feeling confident now. You know, 1 win in our last 5 games as well. Really struggling patch of form. I gotta be honest, I think if we are to qualify for the Europa League, it's going to need to be done via this competition, because of course some of you guys have been pointing out in the comment section in recent episodes. I see those comments from you guys saying, don't forget, even if you don't finish in 7th, you can qualify for the Europa League by winning the FA Cup, as we saw last season in real life. Funnily enough, it was Wolves who of course missed out on qualifying for the Europa League despite finishing in 7th, because the Gunners won the FA Cup. So heading into the semi-final, after Leicester beat Watford on the Saturday, we will play in the other semi-final on the Sunday against Bristol City, right now occupying the final playoff place, as they're going for playoffs come the end of the season and a chance to gain promotion to the top flight. Heading into the game, it was like that kind of like that Mitchell and Webb look sketch. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Mitchell and Webb, David Mitchell and Robert Webb, 2 British comedians, very famous. You'll probably know them from their great, fantastic show, truly iconic British comedy, Peep Show. They did a sketch show called That Mitchell and Webb Look, and there's a sketch in there where they play Nazi officers, and David Mitchell, it sort of dawns on him and he goes to Robert Webb. Are we the baddies? That's sort of how I felt like heading into the semi-final here, because as we took on Bristol City, despite the fact that Robins are doing well in the second tier right now, we were the baddies. You know, we were the favourites heading into this game, and out of the final 4 teams remaining, we are the favourites to win the competition as well, due to Leicester's struggles over the past couple of years. But despite that being the case, I still picked a very strong lineup for the game, because I wasn't going to take any chances, and whilst he missed a golden chance early, he wouldn't miss again. Eddie Nketiah, who missed the Wolves game, comes back here for the semi-final and puts us in front with his second chance of the game, smacking one past Daniel Bentley and into the back of the net. So QPR in front heading into the break, and to be honest here, I didn't underestimate the Robins at all, despite the fact we were the far stronger team and they were massive underdogs heading into the game. I still picked a really strong lineup, and the fact we only won this game by a goal was really poor finishing more than anything else. The Robins never really got going once again, just like last year's FA Cup semi-final. It was a really good defensive shutout and a defensive display. Yohan Barbet, I really need to shout this guy out more, man. Seriously, he's 29 years old now, and he just never puts a foot wrong whenever I play him. Fantastic in that game there, keeping the Robins quiet, and we are in to the FA Cup final for the second straight year. Again, we were massive favourites for the game, and again, we were the baddies. You know, as Brits, we love to cheer for the underdog and support the underdog. Bristol City were massive underdogs heading into the game there, man, being the championship side, and we were the baddies, and we're still the baddies technically. We're the bad guys, as Billie Eilish would say, and we are indeed in the FA Cup final. We'll take on Leicester. They of course beat Watford in the Saturday, and again, I feel very confident indeed. It's a chance at our first major honour. It's a chance of qualifying for the Europa League, but it is worth pointing out we've not exactly been in great form recently, so bear that in mind. Whilst we are strong favourites for it, we certainly aren't playing at our best right now to close out our third season at the Kai Prince Foundation Stadium. So for our third and final game of today's episode, staying in London and taking on Spurs away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Right now they are going for a top 4 place and desperate for Champions League football, whereas we're desperate to keep ourselves in the race for Europa League football. We know now with just a few games to go, only wins will do to end the campaign off. Any slip-ups and it's effectively all over. So taking on Spurs, so much at stake. Both teams needed a wins for different reasons, and heading into the game we took a shock lead through Eddie Nketiah. Being a former Arsenal boy, you know he'd love that one, but right before the break Spurs would find their leveller, and I know the defence was shocking, but I've got to be honest here, I got totally schooled on the edge of the area there with a lovely little through ball into Mia, who turned it into the back of the net. So Spurs come from a goal down to level it right before half time, and again it's just one of those games. It's not the first time as well where we've been leading against a big team, but I just panic. I've got to be honest, I just panic because obviously I'm playing on ultimate difficulty now in every game, and when you take on the big teams and I find myself either tied for a long time still at 0-0, or again we take a shock lead, I just really panic. I just can't keep my composure, man. I always get so nervous, and you know, to be honest, 2 of the 3 goals that Spurs scored on my errors, including here trying to play out from the back, giving it away, and then as Harry Kane was sent through from 2 yards out, he simply wasn't going to miss. Mourinho running down the touchline. Is it 2004? Old Trafford, it feels like it, as his team celebrate a massive victory in a London derby as they keep their Champions League hopes alive. Final score: Spurs 3, QPR 1. 2 wins in our last 7 games in all competitions. A really tough patch of form for QPR, and I think it's safe to say now, with just 3 games to go, it's probably all over in the race for Europa League football via a league finish. I just can't see us catching up to Wolves now. I mean, mathematically, there is still a chance, don't get me wrong, but as you'll see the league table here, as you can see, we've dropped further down the table. Wolves, with 2 games to go, have 55 points on the board. And again, we do have the game in hand, as do Everton, but we're 6 points behind. We've got a terrible goal difference record as well. We need to win at least 2 of our final 3 games, and Wolves need to lose both. Otherwise, there's no chance we will qualify for the Europa League via 7th place. But that was this episode of the... Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, sorry. We've got the scouting update and the academy update to end today's episode off, as well as taking a couple of South Korean players and some Nigerians as well, and a brief look at the youth squad as well. But yeah, there's 2 episodes to go in the season, and we've got the penultimate episode coming out. Do you know what? Let's do it later tonight. We've got 3 games to go in the Premier League. And we got a very small chance of qualifying for the Europa League via a 7th place finish. Let's do it tonight instead. No like target today, guys, so a guaranteed double upload day for you. No like target, but like is, of course, very much appreciated as you take a look at the academy there. Got to say, a couple of players in here are looking very tasty indeed, I must admit. Ed Dale looks fantastic. 5-star skill moves, high medium work rate, Cam up to 60 overall. Might promote it come the end of the season. But yeah, so 3 games to go, as you can see. West Ham away, Villa away, and Brighton home on the final day, leading up to the FA Cup final. I'll put the FA Cup final out tomorrow, and I'll do the penultimate episode, the final 3 games of the Premier League tonight. So that will end today's episode, guys. So a big thank you for watching today's episode of PS5 Career Mode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Once again, no like target for a double upload day, but a like is, of course, very much appreciated. Have a fantastic day. Much love to you all, and I will see you for today's double upload day, the penultimate episode of the season, the final 3 games of the Premier League campaign later on tonight. See you then.